Holy moly, what is going on with Alpaca? It's up massively today, and there seems to be zero news around the token. It's a DeFi protocol on the Binance Smart Chain. It's suddenly going up out of nowhere, and what I believe is happening is short squeezing. Because here's the thing, most DeFi protocols tend to go down over time because the token supply expands, and thus this invites many people to just bet on falling prices. The issue is when the market cap is low enough, when there's not a lot of liquidity, it's relatively easy to manipulate the price. And so when there are many people that short a token, it is very attractive to pump up the price more. Just have a look at the newly found volatility for Alpaca. In the span of 3 hours, the price crashed by 76% to then subsequently shoot up by 1,300%. There is nothing natural around a rally like this. After this massive short squeeze, the market cap is at 121 million. Before that, it was only at around 10 million. And if you're considering to fight this battle, to take advantage of the short squeeze and potentially short as we are at the top, right, to bet on falling prices now, you're probably in for a bad ride still. Because have a look at this. This is Venus Finance. This is where we can borrow Alpaca. And this is what you would do if you wanted to bet on falling prices. Now this pool has a utilization rate of 99%. You have to pay an APY of 230% to borrow Alpaca. So the people that currently buy Alpaca on the spot market and that deposit it on Venus will get more than 3 times the token back 1 year from now, if of course the APY stays at this level. It's extremely profitable to now just buy the token, which then leads of course to further short squeezes, which leads to the rally continuing to last. Now when will this finally turn around? It turns around when all the short squeezers have been liquidated. So in all of that, borrowed Alpaca token then goes back again to the pool because there's not enough collateral anymore to borrow that token because the price of the debt just went up too much. So in other words, there's an equilibrium here. As the price gets short squeezed, it's going to cycle up higher and higher, but that also requires more and more capital. And at some point, it becomes too expensive for the manipulators, for the market makers to buy up even more of the token. So on the one hand, there's the gains of the liquidation fees. On the other hand, there's the cost of pushing up the price and also all of the trading fees associated with that. We have seen short squeezes though in the hundreds of millions, potentially billions of dollars. Your Finance, for example, went up more than 1 billion in market cap during the short squeeze. It's important to manage risk properly, and it's better to bet on falling prices of altcoins that already have a large market cap, where it's very hard to manipulate it further up. It's also better to bet on falling prices of altcoins that have a history of underperforming, potentially because the supply increases over time. Volatility is our enemy when we bet on falling prices. We don't want to see a lot of volatility because our best risk management tool when we bet on falling prices are stop losses. They're not doubling and tripling down. So that's a fundamental difference between longing and shorting. Right? When we bet on rising prices, we can just continue to buy the dip as long as we believe in the asset in the long term. When we bet on falling prices though, we cannot just endlessly add collateral until infinity just because the price is going up, because there is no limit to how high a price can go. But there's a limit to how low a price can go if, of course, an asset stays around for a while. So the way to manage risk are different for longs versus short. I don't think it's a good idea to get involved in Alpaca in any form right now. There's simply too much manipulation going on. And this is a player versus player game directly against the market makers, directly against the people that know this game in and out. We want to have the stupid money as our opponent, right? We want to make money from people that aren't so skilled. We don't necessarily want to trade against the people that already do this for decades. Now, it appears as if everything is going up in this market, but it's not as easy. It's still in the end a player versus player game, and a lot of people got wrecked before this rally. The top performing crypto categories right now are Politify, but also picking up now Solana memes and AI agents, all the kind of tokens that did very well just a few months ago. Now, especially with the smaller altcoins, it's not a fair game. It's player versus player, but it's also insiders versus the public. The public doesn't know as much as the insiders, and so on average, the average retail investor does lose money. It's really a rather mixed picture. Have a look at this. This is Solana's trending tokens. There's some green, there's some red, but in the end, even during the Memecoin hype in the last few months, Bitcoin dominance continued to go up. So clearly, it's not enough to just buy a representative basket of altcoins and hope for those to outperform Bitcoin. If we speculate with altcoins, we have to be somewhat active. Otherwise, we just go with BTC. BTC tends to do better than most altcoins most of the time. Now, very often the market makers and the insiders, they get away with this, right? For example, the Ohm token crashed by more than 90%, a drop of 4.5 billion. Up to this day, we still don't know who profited from this crash. The money is not gone. It's just held by somebody else. Now, what can we do in a situation like this? I think the best approach is to try to be as close as possible to the insiders. And that's the nice thing about the blockchain, right? We can see the official transactions. And if we do a bit of digging, we can find out the wallets of people that move prices. For example, over here, we've got transactions of Kyle Chessy and of other influencers that bought SPX 6900 very, very early. When we found the wallet of an insider, we can get notifications whenever those people buy and sell something. And because of that, I made a video on SPX 6900 in the early days. And that video was not that popular because most people didn't know about the token at the time. But it came out when the price was still at 10 cents. It then made this parabolic run of 1,300% and of course crashed back down with the rest of the market. But I try to be early on this channel. I try to cover tokens that are bought by the insiders that still have upside potential. So feel free to subscribe over here. Now here's another example, Fartcoin. We got purchase notifications at 4 to 5 cents and subsequently there was a 4,000% run, then of course our correction, but still from that signal the price is up almost 2,000%. It's all a player versus player game. The insiders make most money. And the way we get all of those signals is again by finding the wallets of people that influence the prices. So again, with the example of Kyle Chessy, we've got 12 of his wallets. In total, we track more than 419 wallets. We find the wallets through various approaches, the NFTs that they hold, the current holdings that they might make public, related transaction wallets, all kinds of different approaches. There are dedicated tutorial videos on how to find influencer wallets available as well. What you're seeing over here is the paid Telegram channel. So we've got a dedicated chat just on finding new influencer wallets where we then add them to our tracking channel. So that tracking channel is also available, of course, to the premium members. And so the closer we are to the people that move prices, the more we can mimic their performances. So over here, what we see is various trades that have been made by the community. Of course, I'm not sharing the exact tokens that have been traded, but yeah, those are some examples of what is achievable with the right information. So feel free to check it out. It's currently $125 per month. The link is down below. It's thebitcoinstrader.com. You will also see a link to the premium membership now directly popping up on this video. Again, if it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you next time on YouTube or see you in premium. Cheers.